Hey, Stephen here with another DIY musician guide. If you're looking to get your music used in film, TV and radio, then that's fantastic. That's what I'm aiming to do too. In fact, I've already done it with a bunch of my tracks. And in this video, I'm going to show you how that all came about, as well as show you some tips and tricks of how you can do it too. Okay, so why should you get your music used for TV, film and radio? Well, the first reason is obviously money, and it's not just the initial fee that you might get for a placement for your music, but recurring fees. So if you're in the UK, this will be through royalties for the PRS, for example. Okay, the second reason is exposure. Getting your music out there in ways that don't require you to be all over social media, boring people to death, going on about your new release. It can't be just me who's completely guilty of that. Are very welcome. Another reason, it can be really satisfying, especially when you've had some input into how or where your music is placed. I love working on soundtrack work, it's my favourite thing, so this for me is my favourite reason. Although money does really help. Okay, now I'm going to talk about why the type of your music is important, as well as go through some of the examples of things my music has been used for, and maybe give you some tips and advice along the way. But before that, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. I think it might be important to mention that the music I tend to make is, well, mostly instrumental, so it lends itself well to background music to kind of promote a feeling or emotion. And that's not to say that like music with lyrics, if you've got a singer, that kind of music won't be used. I've seen many briefs that actually require lyrics to kind of dictate a narrative and stuff, but I think it's really important to have two versions of a track if you are looking to use your music to be placed in TV and film and such. One to be with the lyrics and one to be an instrumental. I think that's a really good idea, just to have that choice really. Okay, time to talk about music publishing companies. A long time ago, it must be about 10 years now, the first band I was in signed up to a music publishing company called Centric Music Publishing, and basically what they do is bridge the gap between you and the companies that are looking for music for their ads and TV and film things. We've had quite a few syncs off them over the years. Quite notably, one of the first ones actually was for a Lexus car advert, and the money we got from that, I was able to get a Vox AC30 amp, which is pretty much my pride and joy. I'm going to read a list of other things we've had through Centric as well. We've had a good few appearances in the TV show Hollyoaks, Sober House, 16 and Pregnant, plus adverts for other TV shows such as CSI, The Mentalist, Grey's Anatomy and more. We've always seemed to fill that we need a sad song void in video for some reason. If you do decide to go with a publishing company, do your research. We initially chose Centric because they were local to us, they were free to sign up with, but they do take a cut of every sync you do get, which makes sense because we wouldn't have those opportunities otherwise. If you've been watching this channel for more than like 3 months or whatever, you'll know that I always bang on about word of mouth, and that if you're on social media, it's important to be social. I always say hi in the comments so we can start talking to each other, especially if you're a musician, because we can all share what we know. Before, when I talked about joining a music publishing company, it's great that we can get opportunities placed in front of us to have our music put into things, but what about if you want some input, some creative input, where you've got to go and chase the relevant people through social media? That's how I got involved with a project called Paragon. It was an ITV documentary that came out last year that I actually went to see it in a cinema as a premiere. It was crazy, red carpet and everything. That came about because a guy started talking to me through Twitter after I was ranting about Metal Gear Solid and Street Fighter, video games. And that kind of broke the ice, because then he looked at my profile for some reason and saw that I did the music I did, I was involved in that. And so when he went to do his project, his film project, it kind of clicked in his head and he came back to me and say, hey, do you want to be involved? So video games were the icebreaker. Hey mums, video games do pay off, especially if you're a Fortnite player. Okay, on to radio, because we've not talked about that. If you are in the UK, chances are you've heard of something called BBC Introducing. Basically, the BBC has a page where you can upload some of your tracks, and these tracks will get listened to by your local BBC radio station, and if they really like those tracks, they'll be propelled to other bigger stations such as Radio 1 and Radio 2, etc. That's happened to us a couple of times, and if anything, the reoccurring royalties are really nice. And that's it. Hopefully you got something out of this. Let me know if you're looking to get your music out there in videos and TV and radio. For me, I really want to get music in video games, and it's something I just haven't explored properly yet. So if you've got any tips for me on that, do let me know. I'd love to know. Until next time, if you want to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you again for the DIY Musician Guide.